So as you can see, we have the ribbing done. And if you kind of lost count of how many rows you've done, just stretch it out and count the bumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's that easy. So now we're at the beginning of our row. You can either put a stitch marker, like a little piece of scrap yarn, make a little knot and slide it over, and just don't knit it, obviously. Just slide it by when you hit the beginning of your new row. Or you could just follow the yarn tail here. This is your first stitch. So now we're going to switch to just our stocking stitch. So you're going to take your bigger needle and you're just going to start knitting. So make sure you use the right end. And you just start working. This might get in the way here, so just pull it out of the way. And you just work your first row in stocking stitch. So stocking stitch, when you're working in the round, is just going to be knit. You just knit the whole way until you reach the length that you want, the length of your piece that you want. So you'll see this is probably about a good 2 inches anyways for your ribbing. You can make it longer if you want a rim that you can fold over, or you can make it shorter if you find that this one is a little too long. You can customize it, make it what you want. You just use the pattern that I wrote as a, I don't know, just as a base, and then you modify it as desired. So you're just going to work this until you reach the end of your row, and then you can discard the smaller needles. I'm just going to finish my row and then I'll be back. So you can see I'm almost at the end of the row here. So I'm just going to finish it up. The first row is going to be a little tight because you're working from stitches that are smaller because they were on the smaller needles, but it should be smooth sailing from here. So now I'm done with my 6s. Just going to discard them, and you'll see how small this is, right? Because this is stretchy, it's elastic because of the ribbing. So just spread it out, it should be fine. And then you just keep, oh, here, actually, we can place our stitch marker. So I've made just a little loop. You could probably make it a little tighter there, but, and then you just keep working in the round, knitting and knitting and knitting until you have the length that you want. For this one, I put in 7 inches of stocking stitch. If you want like a moderately slouchy hat, or if you want it more slouchy, then you make it 8.5, and then you close it up. Make sure you keep enough yarn to make your pom-pom at the end. So you just keep knitting and knitting and knitting until you have the length that you want. So let me work some rows. I'll work probably 7 inches and then I'll be back. So as you can see, I've worked a couple of rows here in stocking stitch, and I'm almost at the end of my row, or my round actually. When we're working in the round, we call them rounds and not rows. So you're just going to work up to the stitch marker. Make sure you don't knit it, and then you just slide it over like this so that you're not using it for anything. And then you just keep going. You do that every round, just past the marker, and then it'll just follow your knitting. And then when you're ready to start decreasing, you'll know where to start. So that's what it's going to look like. And you see the bottom is elastic.